you guys are saying if anybody said anything. Should be enough time. All right, so it looks like I just can't see anything. On Facebook, so I'm thinking that see, there's 3 comments there, and I can't see anything. So just make sure, I know, James, you like it? Just make sure that you, if you are asking questions, I'm going to be looking down because it's interesting. I think Facebook is making a move so that you don't, if you want to use it, you cannot get, that you cannot see or use anything outside of the app. If you're using it online, then they're kind of like, you know what? No, we don't, we're not going to let you do it. So I can't see, I'm on my computer not in a Facebook app on my computer, and it won't let me see any of the comments that you guys are saying. But I am looking on my phone every now and then. You'll see me do that, and I will be just. Hi, Rose. Hi, Krista. Hi, James. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Lisa. So it's interesting because I was getting ready for tonight, and I thought I would look like I would present myself as if I was on a date. So this is what I would look like on a date, and probably a different shirt, but this is what I would look like, and this is how turn on your comments. I've never turned them off. So that's weird. So yeah, you guys are my dates. What do you think about that? Oh, and look at all of those cuteness. I'm going to I can't tell where to turn on the comments, but it's there you go. So yeah, you're my dates tonight. So we are going to talk a little bit more about being broken, and I'm going to finish it up. It's interesting. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that are coming up for me. Look at the cute hearts. Thank you so much. Hi, Jill. So I want to talk a little bit. Got a lot to talk about tonight, and I'm hoping that we have enough time to cover it. The first thing I want to talk about is I will be at Sal's on Wednesday. So I'll be at Sal's Italian restaurant in Tecumseh on Wednesday. I'll be doing a group reading there. That's the first thing. I went to Chicago yesterday, and I did a day seminar with we did a seminar at with Thomas John in Chicago. So I got up with crack of dawn, which is why I'm so tired. So I was up, didn't get any sleep, maybe 4 hours of sleep, drove to Chicago, did his workshop, and then drove back and got back last night. And it turns out that I am, today has been, I've paid a little bit for that today. So, but he really brought up something I want to talk a little bit about today. So I'm gonna touch on it. I just want to kind of roadmap what we're going to be talking about. So we are going to be talking about being broken, but we are going to be talking about energy metabolism and kind of getting curious about what your energy metabolism is and how you deal with situations. What are we doing November 8th, Krista? You're telling me not to forget it. I've already forgotten because I don't have my book in front of me, but I do have on November 9th. I was just going to say that. Oh, on November 9th, I will be doing and this is like a huge announcement. I will be doing a dual mediumship group with another medium. Her name is Maria Videshi. And it's mariavideshi.com, VED. Let me just make sure. Oh, Drag Queen Bingo is on too. Okay. All right. The night before we do this. So she is a fantastic medium, and Verdeshi, I'm sorry, VERDESCHI, Maria Verdeshi. And I'm pulling up her picture right now so I can just show you who she is. This is her. This is Maria. I probably maybe should invite her on, but I can't do it on the computer. You get a free meditation. You go, she's a remarkable psychic medium. Her ability to connect with teachers, guides, and departed loved ones is nothing short of astonishing. Her compassion and genuine interest in her client provides for relaxed, revealing and down to earth reading. So I think that her readings and my readings are going to be very similar, and they're going to look a lot. They're going to be pretty cool. So definitely, if you are it's at the Mind's Eye in Macomb. If you're in Michigan and you're on that side of the state, the east side closer to Detroit, that you make time to come down there and give us your time. I think our price point is $35, and we'll read for at least 2 hours, and it'll be fantastic. So I just did a group last Thursday at Earth Elements in Saline. And if you haven't checked out that metaphysical shop, I'm going to strongly urge you to do that. They're fantastic in there. James and Kristen are the two people who run the place, and they are so wonderful. And if you get a chance to get a Reiki session with James, I would strongly urge that. He is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I'm just encouraging you to stretch your boundaries here a little bit, because sometimes we get in ruts. And that's why I went to Chicago. When you're a medium and you're doing readings and sessions, usually have one way of connecting, and you connect in that specific way. And when I do classes and do trainings, I begin to stretch how I begin to stretch out. I begin to stretch out my whole, I'm going to see if I can write down I can't even type in here. So that's fun. I stretch out how I read. Now it's interesting because I'm now doing names, but what I find really intriguing is that I forget to ask for the names over and over again because why? It just is habit. It's a habit not to ask. So I don't necessarily ask, and I have to always remember to ask, and have to always remember to stay with something longer. So we talked a lot about intuition and chakras and your energy system. And in this series of Being Broken, one of the things that I really want to talk about is that I want to make sure that we sort of come back around to the beginning. Like, the premise here is, one, everybody's broken in different ways. Nobody's broken in the same way. Just as you're unique, you're like a little butterfly, and a little, not a butterfly, let's not say there's butterflies. Everything kind of looks like, but it's not similar. And how you experience something is different than how somebody else would experience something. It's funny because I have a client, she's adorable, and she talks about her one child just lets things fly off her back like a water off a duck's back. The other child is not that way. Her energy metabolism is different. Just as you have a metabolism that's probably, related to foods, probably better than mine. Maybe you can eat sugar and nothing happens to you, or maybe you eat a crumb, and that was one of his examples. Thomas John's examples is okay, that's funny. All right. So it's really dependent on where you're at and what you're doing, and how you, and this is also another great example. A lot of mediums, or a lot of people who are empaths or intuitives. And I mean, I just don't want to say it's like you get where all of your information comes in an intuitive manner. It comes in through different clairs. You have to process it, understand the information, and be able to turn it around. And Maria, I'm not saying that I am at all like a god when it comes to watching, saying what names are, because it's not something, I don't really care about people's names. I care about the relationship. I care about the thoughts and the feelings that happen while people are interacting. I care about I care about evidential mediumship, which will give people hardcore evidence that there's no way I would know something. And but so that's sort of that. So getting names and stuff, it's challenging because it's outside of my comfort zone. But it doesn't make me any less good at what I do. I connect people with their thoughts, feelings, emotions, and connect them with their loved ones across the other side. So that being said, I want to talk about back to the energy metabolism. Now, my mom is from Newfoundland, Canada. And when so she grew up, and all of the ancestors on that side of my family really grew up like eating ocean foods, like fish, lobster, like things like this, always from the ocean, and a lot of homemade, but usually not too many carbs, a lot of like fish food, a lot of things like that. So when I'm here and I'm eating an American diet, my metabolism doesn't do well with that sort of stuff. It does better with things that are higher fats, higher proteins, those sort of things. I do better that. And if I eat sugar, my metabolism is like, whoa, stop. And this begins to happen. I get all these little saggy, and I get these little bumps, and these kind of things happen. So I want to say that this is the same way when you're dealing with how you deal with people, your energy metabolism at work with your boss, and if he or she is yelling and screaming, and how does it affect you that? If you're out at a concert, does it affect you there? Or is your empathic pieces so up that you can't enjoy yourself and you get physically drained? Some people get, like, when it starts to get really rainy and dark, they get their energy is depleted and they feel horrible. But there's also the flip side of that, when some people, when they see the rain and that kind of darker, it's a rejuvenation, a rebirth into them. So it's important that you get curious about your energy. So when you're working on your energy and figuring out your energy metabolism, this isn't something that you can just force to happen. It's not something that you're just going to push it to go. I actually should see it. You're going to have to just begin to be curious about what it's like in different situations, and start to remember to honor those situations. Sometimes it takes us a long time to realize that we need to honor what's actually happening around us, and instead we I like to talk about it in forms of sugar, because it's such a thing for me, that if I have too much sugar, I'm pay for it. Now, you have many different subtle bodies that are around you, and you're in this idea of being broken. And you have your chakra systems. You have like the 7 major, and there's a bunch of different minor ones, but you have these 7 chakras that connect you to source and the other side. Yeah, so you're connected to the other side, and how you actually store energy on a cellular level and in your chakras. There's a connection with how these move in and out and up and down in your whole body. And I'm asking you just to begin to ask questions of, how do you feel when this is happening? How do you feel when that's happening? How do you feel? And it was one of an interesting, funny thing that was that before I really began to know, like, was turned back on, whatever. I don't really want to have that conversation right now, but I just want to say, before I became a medium and doing this professionally, I was interested that I would always ask people, well, how did that make you feel? How do you feel about that? How do you feel? So I'd be like, something would happen and be like, well, how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? Over, and so much to the point that some of my friends who very, very right brain thinkers, or left brain, I can't remember which one it is, but the very analytical thinkers, very like, no, it's black and white. No, it's not that way. No, you can't have that. They would be like, Gianni, how do you feel? And they would make fun of me for it. Now I understand it is tantamount to your success in helping yourself heal is to understand what your feelings are in your system. So sometimes if there's people upset around you and yelling, it could be triggering you into so many different areas in your life, but you need to be aware of what's happening so that you can manage your energy system. and hopefully get more energy. And so one of the things that I'm going to be talking about as well, and I want you just to, I'm exploring this. I want to be talking about your etheric subtle bodies. And your astral body has, and I mean, this was something new that he brought up, and I'd never thought about this before. I'm going to have a little banana. See, it's like we're on a date. We're all just hanging out, dating each other here right now. I'm going to eat a banana, maybe have some water. Your subtle body or your astral body has everything that you have in your system, your organs, your hair, your everything. And dis-ease happens there first and travels down into your physicalness. My little drummer over there. So I want you to be thinking, and I want you to just really begin to notice, can you feel your astral body above you as you're in your day? Can you just have this quick connection with this place in your body to feel, to begin to heal in that astral body and allow that to, so I was actually, I had a session with somebody today, and one of the things that I had said was, I want you to spend, I think I said this, if I didn't, I meant to, I think you people watching, I hope, I don't know, I want you to spend 5 minutes a day just connecting into your body and to see what it feels like up high and what it feels like into the earth, because you are a part of stretching out in many different areas, whether it be your etheric body, your astral body, but also your auric field, all the energy around you. So I want you to honor these systems and try and just 5 minutes a day to connect, kind of like you would be doing, let's say, I don't know, speech therapy. And just 5 minutes a day where you really try and connect and feel up and feel down. Okay, so does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions about that? I have to look at my phone again because it's not... Oh, it does make sense? Good. All right, so good. It's making sense. So I want you just to begin to get really curious. Again, that's how you find out. And it's super, I mean, I say that all the time, right? It's super important. It is super important that you get to be curious about what's happening within you, because when things are happening around you, you still want to have the sense of yourself so that you can manage yourself, be with yourself, hang out with yourself, and so you can hang out with yourself and be happy, because you ultimately are the only person that can make yourself happy. All right. So let's talk about, does it make, okay. I need to talk about, I have a Robert coming forward. I feel, he feels like a father energy that's stepping forward. I also have it's interesting. I have a grandmother and a grandfather holding hands right now. They seem like they passed pretty tragically or at the same time. That seems like an accident between the two of them. I don't know if Robert is with him. They feel separate to me as I'm connecting here. They're talking about oh, that's interesting. So one of the things that he just said, so one of the things that the validation points that he's said is that there was a he's making me feel like his grandfather. I feel there's a connection to the Marines here. He's like saluting and showing me the Marines. So he's either talking like, it feels like a grandson that is either going into the Marines or thinking about being in the Marines. So I want to just say that the grandfather is around in that area. The grandmother is incredibly, I mean, of course, I mean, I say this, and no, I never really had the experience of a grandmother. So when I say, of course, she's sweet, I expect grandmothers to be sweet and wonderful. It's not my experience. So it's really adorable when I see them and they're sweet and wonderful. So I want to talk about, she's coming forward and she's talking about like, she's talking about things having to be cooked, and there's either this is the daughter or the granddaughter to this woman talking about having to go in the kitchen and cooking and being completely overwhelmed. So I want to say, like, I'm seeing this be. Hang on, babe. Okay, so okay, babe. Okay, babe. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about this. It's funny because as I'm sitting here, like all of a sudden I have a mother entity coming forward, but she's talking in a different. I mean, she feels like when I'm seeing her, she feels hidden. She feels Hindu to me, and she feels like it's. I see not a headdress, but I see the sari, and just this. It's just like a gold, mustard gold sari that's with her, and she's showing me like a mortar and a pestle. So I want to talk about that. That's really interesting thing she's showing me. I feel like she ground up all of her spices, and that's what she's showing me right there. Trying to see what else is here, because there feels like it's so one of the things that just happened is I also had 2 children that came forward. I feel like there's 2 miscarriages that are coming forward right now. That I don't know. Ruru, come here. So I feel like they're I just want to say that especially when there's children that have crossed over, and it's children who would have passed in utero, they still stay with you. So I want, when you get curious, come here, baby. When you get curious about your energy and you begin to know your energy metabolism, here's Riley, that you will then be able to feel when the energy shifts and gets different. I also want to talk about, did I say Robert? I did say Robert earlier. I feel like there's a Robert here. And remember, sometimes the names can be, hi, honey. How are you doing? What's going on? So, that's interesting. So I want to talk about that when you feel the energy shift of a visitation, it's easier to find, because I come across a lot of people who feel like they're not having these visitations from their loved ones on the other side. Some of it is because we don't even know what our own energy is, so we can't even like recognize when there's different kind of energy that's coming forward and trying to give us an experience. So I just want to leave you with that. I'm again, I will be Maria Verdeshi, VER. I gotta find her name. Maria Verdeshi, VERDESCHI.com. MariaVerdeshi.com. She has a book that is that she wrote, and the name of it is There Is No Death, Only Life. So definitely check that out. We will be at Mind's Eye on November 9th. I will be at Drag Queen Bingo on November 8th. I will also be at Sal's Italian Restaurant on Wednesday, this Wednesday. So tell everybody, get some people, bring some friends, bring some family. This Wednesday night at Sal's, the doors open at 4:00. and readings will start at 6 and go till 8. And what else was I going to tell you? It's always a good time. One of the reasons why I love doing group readings. I love them. Love them. Not only because it is so validating and kind and thoughtful, but everybody gets something. So it's something really interesting. So I will tell you my little Thomas John story from yesterday. Okay, not the whole story, because you don't want to know all of that. I'm just going to tell you a little bit. So he didn't read me specifically. He didn't come up to me, he doesn't really come up. He didn't stand up and look at me, and well, he doesn't really even look. He reads with his eyes shut. He didn't do that, but he read somebody that was 2 rows behind me. She's like, you, the black sweater, Florida. And I was like, oh my gosh, my sister just moved to Florida. Oh, wow, look at that. All of the comments just populated. So weird. And so she was like, so there was a woman two rows behind me who started talking, who was in a black shirt, who lived in Florida. Now, my sister just moved to Florida. My mom was going to Florida today. Like, there was a huge Florida connection with me as well. And he was saying something very specific to her and telling her advice that absolutely applied to me. So when you come to a group, you may not hear from a specific person or get a specific on reading, but you can, because Spirit works so beautifully to in such a deep way of, it's never just one thing that's said, it's deeper than that. So I just want to say, like, if you come to a group reading, they're fantastic. You get a little, I call it like a spirit shot. Spirit like really comes in. You can feel the vibration changing. And when we're in a group, all the group gets these beautiful messages and gets to see how these messages affect other people. It's a very healing experience. So if you haven't done a group, I would suggest you come. I will be at Sal's this Wednesday. Come at 4:00. You can get into the side room. I will start readings at 7 and go till about 8. And then Mind's Eye in Macomb. I guess Macomb is a city and not just is it Macomb? Is Macomb also a county? I feel like it is. So anyway, that's kind of what I want to say. I will be there, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Wednesday. And if you have any questions or want to book a session, please get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me on my Google line, 720-514-9724, or you can get a hold of me. You can email me, jannycook.com, and I will respond. Or you can also get a hold of me on Facebook, or there's a million ways to get a hold of me. So I am pretty get a holdable. If people want to get a hold of me, they know how to get a hold of me. It's not hard. So that's all I have to say. Thanks for, being my date tonight. I appreciate it. I hope you like that I got all gussied up for you. And I will talk to you later. Ciao. Oh, wait. See light, be light, of course. Bye. And thank you, YouTubers. Have a wonderful night. I think it's not ending over here. There we go.